First and foremost, the district's mission, and in the high school, you know very well because your building level mission is in every doorway. But the mission statement and saying that we're building this to make sure that we can provide the very best education possible for the students of Hazlet, and at the same time be fiscally responsible in doing that. And if you look at the new things that are in this budget, like a information-rich global society, and then see what we've done over the last 3 years in technology, you know that the board, really with their forward thinking, has stayed focused on that. This is a pretty tough story to tell, really, that from 2009-10, we had a state aid reduction of more than $659,000, and then in 10-11, more than $2.3 million. You could see that in the last 2 years, that's a lot of state aid. And that reduction in state aid has caused a rise in property taxes, because at the end of the day, when we take that state aid away, even though we had a less than 0% increase when it was all said and done last year, it was still a significant tax spike because of that $2.3 million reduction in state aid. So this year, in 2011-12, when we got more state aid, the Board of Education thought it was very important to focus those dollars on tax relief. So to not put us in a further, more difficult position with our local taxpayers, that's exactly what we've done. 4-year budget history, you go all the way back to 2008-9, you see that $46 million figure that we're still looking at in 11-12. So in 9-10, we had a 1.1% increase, then a 1.25% decrease in 10-11 as a result of that failed budget and the monies that were taken away. And now this year, we're talking about an increase of only $528,000 higher than we were going back to this 2008-2009 figure. So you can see that we have really been very fiscally responsible over that period of time. This is what it looks like on a visual. 2008-9, where we are in 2011-12. Seeing really focused on that $46 million figure. Now, how have we been able to do that and continue to offer more educationally? When you look at what the board has done and the administrative team to do cost-saving measures, and the power purchase agreement is a very good example of that. $118,000 in next year's budget alone, savings in next year's budget alone through our power purchase agreement, and $1.7 million over the next 15 years. The debt refinance, having the opportunity to refinance those bonds from the referendum of 2000 and creating a significant savings there, more than $1 million, $1,039,693 over the next 20 years. And when you look at surrounding districts and how they've lost positions, significantly more positions than we've lost, first of all, when you've been the lowest per pupil cost of any K-12 over the last 4 or 5 year period, you know that you were running things the right way. Also, the forward thinking and the vision of the board and the central office team for the reconfiguration, which really allowed us to maximize our staff and utilize them to the fullest, and to realize those reductions through retirements over time. That has positioned us to only lose the 15.5 jobs over the last 2 years when we look at surrounding districts that have had significantly higher impacts on that in personnel. Alternative revenues, utilization of the job ed funds, and our construction grants. And applying for those construction grants is a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. There were very few people that did it in the last year's round because with the huge reductions in state aid last year, nobody was really confident that there was going to be monies available. We really saw it as an exercise in futility, but yet we took the time to apply for it and do it because we know that this has been the only source of additional state aid that we've really received has been through these construction grants. And then we came through big time with that $471,000. It's a significant amount of money. The shared service agreements with staffing with other districts and transportation, the successes that have come from those have created additional revenue for us as well. And you look on top of that to the medical insurance, and we really have given our collective bargaining units a lot of credit for this, because this is something that has happened over time. The changes that we made in negotiations, the last round of negotiations, which produced a significant savings. Medical insurance plan modifications where we offered a quality plan for all of our employees, but through doing away the concessions that those that had traditional health care plans, which were more expensive, and the sacrifice that was made through all of our collective bargaining units, starting with central office, to do away with those so that we could produce a savings of $850,000 now, and that's going on 3 years. So that's an ongoing savings, an annual savings to the taxpayer that we have all sacrificed and participated in. On top of that, the changes in the prescription self-insuring plan, that caused a little bit of discourse in the middle of the year when we made this changeover, and there was there was some time for all of us there where it was getting used to doing things differently and make sure we had our paperwork right and all of that stuff, and it was additional work, but it produced $383,000 savings in this budget, in this coming budget alone. That's a significant savings that has allowed us to be able to continue on that path to making sure we're doing the very best job we can educationally, and at the same time we're being fair to our employees. And now this year, we would not have been able to get to a 0% increase on the tax levy without the $350,000 that are coming from all of us in contributions to health benefits. And we really want to make sure that we get that information out so the taxpayers understand that you hear that political propaganda about how we have these Cadillac plans and we're not paying into them, and we don't pay into our pensions, which is another falsity. We all do pay into our pensions. I know that my payments over the course of my career have approaching $100,000 into my pensions, and I know for a lot of my colleagues in this room it's significantly more than that. So we all do pay into our pensions, and now we are paying into our health benefits. And so it's important that we get that word out so that people understand that we are like the private sector from that standpoint. At the same time, look at the curricular enhancements. When you look at our buildings, our facilities, and the way we've maintained them over time so that they really do produce a very positive learning environment and educational climate, all the science labs updates that happened over recent years here in the high school, all the changes in the roofs, the windows, the things that have happened from a facility standpoint, which take a significant amount of money, but at the same time, look what's in this budget from an educational standpoint. New language arts, and I'm not going to read every single one, but over the recent years, we've extended the summer enrichment opportunities, we've extended tutoring opportunities, and test prep, and that our inquiry-based mathematics and science programs and changes in language arts adoption. And we really believe that all of that needs to be a democratic process that is developed with our staff, you people that are with our students every single day in the classroom, as to what their educational needs are and what we need to do to make sure that we're providing you as the educators that work with the students every single day, everything you need to help our students maximize their potential. These are just some. This is on the website too, so everyone will have the opportunity to go back to it. I think it's really important story to tell that we received additional state aid. We're very grateful to the state of New Jersey for providing that additional state aid. We've tried to utilize that state aid and put it right back into tax relief. And because of that, we're able this year to go out on a 0% tax levy increase. I talked to the administrators to talk to their buildings about how they wanted to do community night. We thought that the best way to do community night would be to do them in your own buildings and split the times. So that's what we've tried to do here with that. And I think that you as educational professionals and employees of the Hazlet Township Public Schools, you are very important people in children's lives. And I think their parents know that. And I think that we as educational professionals have an opportunity to tell an accurate story. We have more than an opportunity. I think we have a responsibility to tell an accurate story. Some of the things that we've done to try to facilitate this year is have meetings in different buildings. And again, to when we do those meetings in the different buildings, celebrate the successes of the staff in those buildings, through, most importantly, the successes of the students. And this is a very, very important time for a validation of public education, who we are and what we do. And I'd be the first one to tell you, and everywhere I go I say this, I truly believe that teachers are not overpaid. Educational professionals are not overpaid, they're underpaid. But I think that that political propaganda that puts us as being staff-centered and not student-centered, as being more focused on our own pay than on our efforts on behalf of children, is something that you cannot charge a Board of Education or a central office staff alone to fight. It's something that we have to fight collaboratively with the truth. And the truth is your efforts every day. And we're in that transition time on what public employees are going to look like. I mean, I think we all would agree, the vast majority of us in this room are all, we're all taxpayers, and a lot of us are homeowners, and education is funded on property tax. So I think whether you live here in Hazlet or you live somewhere else, I think you'd all agree that everybody does pay too much in property tax. How we became the villains in this whole process, I'm not really sure. I know it's not accurate, so I think it's really important that we work collaboratively to show that, in fact, that's not the truth. So getting this information out, sharing this information when you can, when you have the opportunity in your own community, in our community, is an important responsibility for us as educational professionals, so that we know that children do have the very best opportunity to do their very best.